guys, Dorothy here at Done by Dorothy, and we are here finishing up our 25 days of Christmas. We made our covers today. Isn't it gorgeous? I love it. Okay, so we're going to get our inside done. Sort of just flexing my chipboard a little bit. Just where, you know, you put the Mod Podge, it sort of sometimes makes it wibbly wobbly. Okay, I want this on the bottom. And that's sort of up to you, you know what? Nope, I want this. This is the top. I had mine a certain way. Okay, so we are going to glue our hidden spine in. And it's going to go onto here and onto here. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. Just because that's what I want to do. Actually, yeah. I am going to use my carpet tape. It's double-sided tape, but it's really, really thin. It's not thick like, you know, stereotypical what you would expect it to be. It is extremely sticky though. Trash. Okay, so I am going to, but I'm going to run Fabri-Tac around it, but I want to just cover my I didn't try not to press it hard, so if you have to move it around until you get it laid down. I'm just going to sort of run it in the center and leave it, you know, a little short of the end so I can run some Fabri-Tac around it. Okay. Let me grab my bone folder. I'm going to take my bone folder and just sort of go through and burnish it down really good. Because, I mean, obviously if you're putting it on there, you want it to hold. So, or you can use your finger. Sometimes just a cloth works really well. You just want to make sure that you have it adhered extremely well. I'll tell you the reason why I use the double-sided tape, at least over where my strings were, is because I didn't want any of that Fabri-Tac seeping through and maybe possibly coming through some of the holes onto my signatures. So now, one thing that's extremely important is you need to make sure that you have it right side up and figure out, you know, the way you want your tops to be. So this is my top, and I'm going to turn it sideways, so I need to make sure that you lay it the way you want it to be. Okay. Now that my try to pick at it and get it. Those little corners always pop up. Okay. Now, this does have, it is fabric. There is cloth, so some of the glue will seep through there. And again, I'm going to use my Beacon Fabri-Tac, and again I'm going to try to make sure I don't get where I scored, because I don't want it to poke through. I don't want to put it extremely thick because I don't want it to you know, come flopping out of the end or whatever, although you can straighten it up. I am going to make sure that I coat this extremely well. So lots of glue, lots of glue. This is not a place to, you know, shrink on your glue. So I always make sure you have it really good. I'm not going to worry about the side flaps yet because I can do that in a little bit. And again, I'm going to make sure I have my direction right. I know, I've checked that 3 times because I have glued them in wrong. This is, I mean, that's pretty forgiving. I just have a certain way that I wanted that. Now, I know that I have an extra 1/8 of an inch on each end. So I'm going to make sure that I sort of lay my, and again, I have my scores in there. And I'm going to make sure that I have it about even. And you know that it's not all crooked or anything. Okay. Then what I do to make sure you, because even though it's even, you may have it, you know, I try to make sure my score lines are right. And then I can, you know, get some of that out. I'll use my fingers and slick it down. You can use a score, you know, your bone folder, edge of your scissors, whatever you want to adhere it. But I'm just going to use my fingers for the end of my bone folder, because I can't get it in there obviously long wise. So, but I'm just going to try to make sure that I have it adhered down to the best of my ability. Now, I will show you something that I do, and it's just my oddity, I guess. I know where my seam is, and every once in a while, because your score, where you score with your score tool, is not going to be as wide as your seam, and you want to make sure you don't have glue on there. So I sort of take my bone folder, lay it in my seam, and sort of, you know, really make sure that I have not just the score down through there, but I want to make sure that that's adhered through there. Sort of push it in really good. Make sure it's, you know, where it'll adhere very well. Because, you know, your score mark is not as wide as your 1/8 inch of your seam that you've got for your cover. So again, I just sort of and you can go through there with your score tool even if you want to. The bone folder does really well for me. And I sort of bend my covers, making sure it does really well. Okay, so then I flip it around, and again, I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. I'm not going to put it on the crease right where my, like you can see here, where my crease is, where my, you know, the spine of my book starts and ends. So I'm going to put it on the paper, but I'm going to leave a little space, you know, that doesn't have glue on it there, just because now I don't want the glue down in there, because I don't want it to adhere so much that there's no give or take with it. I want a little bit give and take, so it doesn't crack inside or bust or anything like that. And again, I'm going to put a very good helping of glue on there. You can use art glitter glue on this if you want to. I'm using Fabri-Tac because I use the tape, and I want that to adhere, and Fabri-Tac, you know, is very, very good about adhering to, you know, all kinds of stuff. Like it bonds fabric, lace, glass, leather, woods, trims, and it grabs fast, which, I mean, you know, art glitter does, glitter glue does too. But okay, that down there, we're gonna flip it over, flip it around. I'm gonna do the other side the same exact way. I'm gonna have to get me another bottle. Yeah, be careful, because it is easy to spread glue up onto your signature page if you're not paying attention, which, you know, I've done. That's why I can say. Okay, and again, I'm gonna let my air out, put my lid on. I'm gonna fold. Again, if you have some out at the end, just grab it while it'll come off. We've already inked and dyed all of this, so you don't really have to worry about there being an issue there. So if there's some coming out, you just sort of grab it and go, because where we Mod Podged it, you know, sort of comes right off the top of it. So there we go. Easy money. And again, you know, you're going to want to take your bone folder and run it down that seam. And again, you're not going to have it going into that paper, you know, is a lot thicker, so you have to sort of push it down in there, even though we've, you know, scored and put it down through there. And technically, hold on, I got a score tool up here. I have a score tool that's got a bigger end on it, so I'm going to use my bigger end even and run it down through there. And then my small one, just making sure you don't push so hard that you actually, you know, pop through that paper, because you can crack this paper. Any paper you can crack, obviously, you know, or if you push too hard. Okay. Okay. So there we go. There's that. So I'm going to pause you real fast, sort of clean up some of my mess and everything that I don't need right here. So when we come in, we can build the front and the back inside before we decorate the cover. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, we're back. Sorry about that. I still ended up with as much mess because I couldn't decide what I wanted and what I didn't want. So I have a combination. So we're going to glue our green down. Remember, we inked up one side, so it's ready to go. And again, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac just because, you know, that's what I do. On my covers, I really like to use this sturdy glue. I'm not saying our glitter glue is not sturdy, because I know some people swear by it. And I do. I use it for just about everything on my pages and all that. But when it comes to my cover, I really like Fabri-Tac in the way that it does. Okay. And again, remember we did this, so we have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And we're just going to line it up at the top, if you guys can see. I'll line it up. Make sure it's straightened up. And I'm going to get my bone folder. And I'm just going to... And again, if you get a little glue, make sure you catch it as soon as it pops out. If you catch it as soon as it pops out, it's a whole lot easier to clean up than if you let it dry. It's not going to be as nice and as friendly. But with the Mod Podge, it does pretty good. Okay. Okay, there is that. Then, if you guys remember, we had... Let me put my lid on my glue. We had the little kids. That was the cover. I am not putting anything on my back cover. That's just my personal preference. I like my back to lay flat for when I journal. If we have a lot of stuff on the front, it's really hard. If you have on both sides, you don't have, you know, a flat side. It makes it sort of hard. So I actually, a lot of times, will leave my back just the plain. Plus, I mean, you know, it sort of shows off the leather some. And it's not that uncommon for, you know, covers to be with pictures and stuff in the back to be. So this was a full-size page. I could have glued this down as a full-size page, but I actually wanted to do the little kids. I'm going to pull out, again, my envelope punch board, and I'm just going to round my corners and ink it. Okay, let me grab my ink. Again, I'm going to use my Distress Oxide. I was trying to decide what I wanted to keep and what I didn't want to keep, and I just, you know, I just never know, because, you know, sometimes you change your mind midstream. I'm trying to make sure I'm in the camera for you guys. I know there's some of you guys that have followed along every step of the way. I appreciate you following along. Remember, you know, to like, comment, subscribe, you know, by noticing. I sort of keep track of, you know, subscribe. I can't talk, of my subscribers and stuff like that. So, I actually want to create this sort of as a pocket tuck. So I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch of space and just leave this sort of as a tuck to tuck something in on the side. And I am going to adhere this with my, let me cover my ink up. Throw that up there out of the way. Make sure you watch your side, so I know I want to do this side where my finger is. And again, I do about 1/4 inch coverage. It doesn't have to be exact. There's not really a science to that. Some people just do one line. I sort of like having a little bit more hold on it. That's just my personal opinion. I'm one of those people that, you know, I'm going to make something that's going to last for a while. Okay, I'm going to flip this over. You can sort of decide where you want to put it. I think I'm actually going to leave about 1 inch at the bottom and about 1/4 inch down the side, give or take. Okay. There we go. So we've created a little tuck pocket there. I have not created one yet, but I will create a little, this book belongs to tuck in there, and that way, you know, you have a way to identify who it belongs to, because, you know, nothing's worse. And I'm going to leave this sort of flat because we have so much ephemera in here. I don't really want to create, like, you know, a big bulging area, at least in the front. That way, you know, when we get ready to write, your pages will lay somewhat flat. Okay, so we're going to go to the back. And again, we have our green page that we've inked up, so let me switch out, put my lids here. And this is going to be sort of fun. We're going to create a fabric pocket. And I'm going to use the cute little candy cane. Maybe. I may use the one with all the word, I don't know. The one says Merry Christmas and all that, so it would sort of go more with the whole album, I think. And again, remember, we're going to line it up. And we've got about that 1/8 of an inch around. Make sure it's even, top and bottom. I just got glue all over my fingers. Glue up there again. Then, you know, if you grab from the outside and rub and sort of rub in, that contains that glue on the inside. It doesn't squish out as much. Then as you go, you know, as you're doing this, by then it, you know, sort of work it from the outside to the inside. There we go. We've got that in there, so I'm going to set this to the side. I think we'll use this. I already have it. So I'm going to grab my pinking shears. I just want a small pocket, nothing crazy. I'm just going to overestimate here. Okay. And I can do it across, leave about 1/4 inch there. So I'm going to need to cut it right about where the A in my Christmas is. And again, I am just guesstimating, trying to do it. Okay, step to the side. Then I'm going to go across the bottom. And this does have words on it, so it makes it a little easier because I can literally just trim across the bottom of the words. And I know I'm sort of going to be straight. I mean, if you want it to be straight, you could use a rotary cutter. Yeah, there's a lot of different things you could use. And again, I'm going to cut right down the middle of these because it's... So, you know, I'm just sort of estimating across the right. There you go. Okay, I'm going to move my book to the side. I gotta put my glue in here because it's going all gooby. I'm going to pull out my carpet tape that we used for our washi because, you know, it works great. Let's see. just going to eyeball. I know it didn't even stick. Amazing, huh? I'm going to sort of eyeball that. I'm going to hold my fabric sort of, and I don't want to go all the way to the end. I want to leave about 1/4 of an inch. Just sort of an outline. You know, I'm not worried about it adhering all the way around because I'm going to put it on paper. I'm going to pull the backing off. And then I'm going to do one more across. And again, you know, you can sort of work with this. It's not too bad until it's been on there. Just make sure you don't cut your fabric. If you cut your fabric, then you have to start all over again. So I'm just going to sort of, there we go. Doesn't have to be exact. Scissors to the side. The pinking shears this side. Let me see if I can get this started. Sometimes it wants to go, sometimes it doesn't. Sort of depends on its mood. Gotcha. Okay. And so I got that. So I'm just going to grab a random, tea or coffee dyed page. I really like the fact this has like this nice edge on the top. So I'm going to make sure I keep that edge on there. I don't really care about it going side to side if there's any amount that comes out. And I'm actually going to put that towards the bottom. I'm going to take my bone folder and really burnish that because you want that adhesive that's on that to, you know, push up through that fabric. Okay. Then I'm going to come through here just a little bit. I mean, I'm going to eyeball down here and see about how far it is and just trim that across there about the same distance. It's about 1/4 of an inch, give or take. Okay. And pull out, see there's extra stuff I didn't need. Pull out my distress ink. And I'm going to distress up around the edges. Sort of dark. I want it, you know, to really stand out. It's going to look really great with the green. You know, that vintage tan look that it has. Okay, so there we go. Pull my book back over here. I'm going to pull out my art glitter glue. And again, I'm going to make sure that I have it right side up. And see, this looks so cute. And that Joy to the World is a gold-ish green color, so it just really pulls that out. It looks great. And again, I'm not going to put anything on the outside of this pocket. I'm going to let it stand alone on its own. And because I'm going to put ephemera in it, and I'm going to use some ephemera that has like fibers and stuff on the top that I slide in there to sort of give it that little bit of oomph without having to actually put it there. Make sure I'm all even. There we go. Make sure burnish that down. Okay, so front is done, back is done. Let's get our ephemera going. So we know this is our second. So let me pull my, oh, I see I've got stuff going everywhere. Oh, let's not put our ephemera in. Let's do our cover now. So we got our inside and outside done. Let's do our front cover. Our front cover, I'm going to start with my spine first. Because that's just what I'm going to start with. I'm going to build from my spine. I want it to be my bottom layer. So I need my Fabri-Tac again. I'm going to pause you and grab a different pair of scissors really fast, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to grab my non-sticky scissors. Okay, I want to put this on my spine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to line it up. I don't know if you can see, yeah, I'm on a cutting mat. So I can sort of see that I was going to grab, well, I have a Sharpie pen. That'll work. And I just want to line my line up. I want to make sure that it's straight. Especially with it going to be on my my spine on my cover. And I know I'm going to double check just in case, because that can add a little extra. It's 9. So I'm going to put it here, line my ruler up. Hope you guys can you guys see it? Yeah, you can. I'll line it up. Oops, not that way. I'm going to line it up on the 9. Did it all backwards today. And then draw my line across so I know where to stop. Okay, put this over here. And then I'm just going to trim along my line. Now that I have that line, to make it nice and even, and I have non-sticky scissors. It makes it a world of difference. Am I up here where you can see me? Yep. Just going to set that to the side. Okay. So I can dust all that off later. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac again. And I'm just going to go, and I'm going to cover this whole entire area with Fabri-Tac. And again, this will curve not just around the top, but it also will wrap a little bit around the sides. So that'll sort of add strength, to your little curves there, and sort of add another layer of protection to keep from cracking or anything like that. Okay, and I know I'm trying to do this not standing over top, sort of standing over top of it. So, and I'm going to just lay that one end down on it where I can still move it around, making sure that I don't touch anything that has Fabri-Tac on it. Because remember, how it did before, it does. And I'm just going to work with it, sliding it up till it's all even like that. And I'm just going to make sure that I have it even down here. Slide it back up where it slid. Making sure that I have, that it's not crooked or anything like that. Okay. Then I'm going to close it. And make sure that I push down on those sides. Making sure there's lots of Fabri-Tac going through there. And if you need to go through and add some more after you adhere it, then that's fine too. I just thought the satin along the edge sort of added a really nice Christmassy feel to it. And we're not done yet. We have some other stuff we're going to put on here too. And if you feel like right here along this edge, from sliding it around so much, it lost a lot of its Fabri-Tac. So try not to over Fabri-Tac though, and sometimes I wish that they came with the little tips that the art glitter glue did. And this is my back. So I sort of tack it down without trying to push as much of the glue out as I possibly can, because I don't want it everywhere. And I at least don't want to make that velvet roll off. So sort of, I'm actually going to fold up a piece of this so my fingers, that if they have any on there, isn't going to, it'll pick it up, but it won't, hopefully won't adhere on there like that did. Darn. Okay, well, we'll get it. We're adding another layer too, so that's not going to be an issue. We'll cover that. Okay. So, we're also going to add green along the edge. So when we add the green, that's going to cover all of that. So, for everybody that's going really fast. And again, I'm going to line this up. And I'm going to go right off the edge of the screen because I don't know if you can see. Like this is 3, so 1's right down through there. So I'm going to go down here and mark it so I don't have to pull my ruler out. Especially with as thin as this is, it's not as hard. And there's my 9. And I'll just mark it there and there. With using a Sharpie, it makes it a little easier. And I just marked both sides so I know where to put my scissors. And there we go. And then I'm going to just put a little Fabri-Tac on here. This is a really thin piece, so I'm not going to be like too crazy because a lot of that's going to slide around. Again, and we could, you may be able to use the art glitter glue. I don't know. I didn't try. Okay, I'm going to flip this up really fast so hopefully you guys can see. And put it to the end. Run it to the end. And again, make sure we don't try to get any Fabri-Tac anywhere. Oops. So we've got that. Okay. I'm going to grab another piece to do along the front edge. And again, I'm going to go off camera for a little bit where I mark it over here. Just long enough to mark it. Sorry, guys. Just because it's here, and that saves me having to get my ruler out. 9 over here. Okay. And it's just a, you know, a cutting mat that has the normal gridded squares on it. You guys know how to measure something and do that. I'm sure at this stage in the ball game you should. Okay. So I have that. And I'm going to try the art glitter glue this time, just so for those who are going to want to know, because some people swear by art glitter glue. We'll see. I want to thank everybody who's been along for the whole journey. You guys have been awesome. And the premieres and everything else. There's so many of you guys that, you know, have been along. I really appreciate it. Well, I'll have to get it off in a second. I have a piece of red string over there. And again, I'm going to just line this up along the edge. I think that green just adds such an accent to it. Well, I already got that on my finger. There's that red string. Make sure it's not attached to glue anywhere. Nope, it's not. Okay. Now the art glitter glue does dry clear, which is nice. I did get a little bit on there, so try to rub it without rubbing it too much. I used my sweater. I know, guys. That was for it. I wasn't. Okay. So there's the green with the red. Really like it. I have that little piece over there where we got Fabri-Tac on it, but I think it's, well, there it went and came right off. Awesome. You got all your little flakies here. Okay, so while we're doing this, I actually thought about putting a strip of gold down the center. I think it just sort of accents and brings out that Christmassy vibe. So, again, I'm going to go off right off the edge here. Sorry I can't get it in camera. I mean, I guess I could use my ruler, but I'm trying to speed it up as fast as I can without missing anything, you know, for you guys. So I don't want to like move a lot of stuff in and out. Okay, and there's that. And there's that. So we've got that trimmed. So I'm going to use the art glitter glue on this because it does dry clear. We're going to see if it works. And it did work for the other, so, and it looks like it's adhering just as much as the Fabri-Tac. So we will try this. I'm pretty much a big Fabri-Tac person. Although when it comes to this velour stuff, I'm a little, or this Velvetuff and Velveet and this veloury stuff, I'm a little leery to use it because it just rolls the stuff off, I guess, from the chemicals and stuff that's in it. Okay, so I'm just going to sort of straighten this up in the middle. Somewhat in the middle to there. Let's see if this adheres. I don't know if it's going to or not. I know it's showing through, but I know it dries clear, so there is hope. Let me find my bone folder because I'm trying not to handle it any more than I have to. No. Did not like how that did. Okay. I'm still going to use this because the piece is okay. Let me put my lid back on. I'm going to use my... You know, technically... No, we're going to use our Fabri-Tac. I'm not going to use my... I was going to use my carpet tape, but I think... I'm just going to run the Fabri-Tac on here. A couple strips of it, nothing major. Make sure I do the ends. I think because it's actually adhering to it, it should be fine. Because I've used it with all the ephemera and stuff without any issues. So let me make sure I've got that centered up again. Yeah. Much better. And the Fabri-Tac slides right off of my bone folder. Let me sort of push it around. Again, be careful that you don't roll any of the velvet part off. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. Cut some of the strands up. We have a couple strands up here. So I'm going to cut them off. There we go. So I like that. And I'm going to put a little bit, hopefully it won't go crazy, along here where it looks like it's not really coming off, but there's just that one little lipped edge that didn't catch with the Fabri-Tac. So I'm going to put the art glitter glue on there. This is velvet to velvet, it might stick. If not, I'm going to see how this works. I was trying it as an experiment. I was letting it set, but I'm going to go ahead and use it. I took a little bit of my Fabri-Tac. I ordered these off of Amazon, and they're sort of like art glitter glue bottles. They have, you know, the little needle that goes in the top, but they're like, I think they're little 1 ounce bottles. But I actually bought one and put some Mod Podge in it, or not Mod Podge, put some Fabri-Tac in it because I wanted to see, you know, how it worked coming out of the bottle, if it would, because it's so thick. So we'll try it and see if that works. Yeah, it's not working. So let me pop this off and use the little flat tip in here, and see, that's even smaller, or at least than the Fabri-Tac bottle. Now that does work. So that might be as fine tip as we get with the Fabri-Tac. I'm going to let that dry. Try not to pull that up. This and do that bubble stuff that Fabri-Tac does, which I don't like. Okay, I'm going to pull this back some so it doesn't... It's a little thicker than what I want it to be. The opening at the top, but it's bubbling out, so I think that makes it worse. So I'm going to take my needle and just spread it along there. Okay, and then when that dries, I'll clean it up. It's a little hard to clean up when it's... Let me grab a rag, and apparently when you squeeze this, it goes to town, so... Okay, I cleaned it off now, so let's see if that does a little bit better. Make sure I squeeze... It does okay like that. Yeah, so I'm going to squeeze the air back out of it. Shove my little metal tip deck down on the end of it. And put the needle back in it and see if that helps control that splurge a little bit. That'll give this time to sort of move this around down to here. I'll clean that up when it dries. I don't want to do a whole lot with it right now while it's... I'll just pull it off like that and fold it back. So this does sort of work. I mean, it's time consuming, obviously, but you know, if you have a really small place you need to get into and you can't get into it with... Okay, that's gonna hold. I'm gonna come back and clean this up once it dries, because it seems like the Fabri-Tac rolls right off when it's dry. And I will tell you that I'm finishing this. Of course, I haven't finished the other one yet. This is the first one I'm working on. And then, what was I going to say? That I'm working on. I have the other one to make still. This one will be my copy. Obviously, I was doing... So if it's the other one, will be identical. Okay, as close to identical as it can be, considering if like I run out of something or whatever. I will do a flip through before I do the giveaway. So just so you're aware of that. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my Fabri-Tac again. And woohoo, I don't want to do that right like that. I wanted my pinking shears. I'm going to pinking shear one end and one side of this ribbon, right like that. And I'm going to glue it up really good so it stays on there. Squeeze the air out of there. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab this, sort of use it as my... So I know I want to put it about right here, because I want to put it down underneath that. Okay. So again, there's that. Okay, and then I want to put a piece in the bottom corner too. So let me just trim this off and trim this side up. And I think I just trimmed the wrong side up. I did. So it's going to have a crooked piece, but that's okay. It'll have a crooked piece on one side. Okay, and then again, let me put this right here. I'll put that right there. I'll put it right about there, just enough. Almost like a postage stamp image, and I think I laid it on there crooked. Let me see if I can get it up. Yeah, it's still wet. Let me straighten it up some more. There we go. So I want to put that with the round edge peeking through. Not anything major, just a small bit. And then I want this one to have that small bit shining through too, even out to the edge. So I can actually pull this down a little. I'm trying to just sort of figure out where I want to put it. Yeah, I think right there is good. So I needed it to be about a 1/4 inch off and not quite a half at the bottom, and it goobered up again. Okay, squeeze it out and put my lid back on it. Okay, so you're a 1/4 inch off and not quite a half at the bottom. So right about there, I would think. And again, I'm going to grab my paper and lay it down just to get my ideal. And of course, never going to go in the same place twice, is it? Let's slide this up just a little more. And I didn't put as much glue on the one end of this, just in case, because I didn't want it to... Okay, pull this down. Pull this down a little more. I think it might be easier if I do it this way. Can you guys still see that? Yeah, you can. Okay. So I have that. That's pretty well even. This is crooked. I'm supposed to be almost out to the side. Right about there, right about there. Yep, that works. Good enough. Yep. Okay, so we're going to grab our corner rounder because I want to round the corners on this. And then I'm going to ink it up. Let me put that back up. Pull this up. And again, I'm going to ink up. Okay, I'm going to grab my cheesecloth. Okay, I know that my paper is going to be within the square, so I'm just going to sort of fabric-tack it up, making sure that I don't, you know, just enough to, and again, we can trim this down if we need, but we're going to start with it and just throw it down, because that's the way I do things. Okay, leave that corner stuck out right like that. Sort of like that wrinkled like that. Just like that. Hang this over because we can get rid of it in a minute. Okay. So leaving that dark red coming out. Okay, and this I cut down to 4 5/8 by 7 1/4. 4 5/8 by 7 1/4. So if you're writing that down or guessing, oh, I was going to tell you guys, I forgot to tell you, on the spine piece on the inside, you remember the wide piece where we had, not this one, but the ones we actually glued down, I actually cut a 1/4 inch off of that, so it was actually 8 3/4 by the 5. Okay, and then I'm just going to line this up about where I want it to be. Right about there looks good to me. What do you think? Okay, that's what I thought. Looked good. And then I'm just going to glue it down. Now at this point, you can trim this up as much as you want. I'm going to trim it up a little bit and then just rag it by pulling some of the strings out of it. And I'll just cut some of those strings off if I have to. I want a little bit to hang over, but I don't want it so much that it's like going to get in the way. So, but I don't want it all straight either. So I'm just sort of hack it And then by pulling those strings out, that sort of takes away that looking like it's all the same. It just gives it that more of a ragged, worn look. I'm going to trim these down. Trim this down here, so create a little randomness on the edge. That's fine over there, I don't mind that. Okay. Okay, that is that. So that is our cover. Before we go and stick all the ephemera in and all that, I do want to create my closure. So I'm going to pause while I grab my big bite and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I am back. I need to cover my ink up here. Woohoo! Cover my ink up. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my ruler and my pencil if I can find it. It's buried in the heap. Okay, again, I know that my journal is 9 inches, so I'm gonna mark 4.5, about a quarter, a little bit more than a quarter of an inch in. Roughly, yeah, right at a quarter inch in. Okay. And I'm gonna go on this side, and again at 9, 4.5, and just roughly a quarter inch in. I'm gonna mark it. Okay. Okay. So I did that. I'm gonna grab my big bite. Yeah, well, that doesn't even matter because I'm not gonna use that. I'm gonna mark it to my 3/16 punch. And I really wish I could show this to you better. I'm not sure exactly how to show it to you. You just sort of line it up and push. I did go from the inside out. You don't have to. That just happened to be how I did it. And then I will try to do this one sideways so you guys can see. If you can see my little markers right there. Let me get this lined up. Hopefully lined up where I'm gonna put it, because I gotta try to hold it up in sideways. Let's see. I'll try to hold it that way. It's gonna be hard to do without my hair in the way. Let's see. Find my mark and sort of get it there and hold it. Okay. So you can see where I'm pushing it out right there. Make sure I still have it lined up. Okay. You see where it's pushed out, and then you just push. Yeah, I'm not going to try to do that because I'm scared I'll push it correct. And then you just push, and when you push it, it cuts through all of that thickness. And it makes a nice, neat, round circle. Now, you can put a grommet through there. I'm not going to because I'm using fabric, so I'm not that worried about it. If I was using, like, metal chain or something like that, I would be concerned. But I'm not. Okay, and I'm going to cut this off, and I'm actually going to cut this off with straight scissors because I want it to rag out and be all roughed up. And all I did was cut, I actually have 2, I believe. Yes. All I did was cut 2 2-inch strips. And again, I'm cutting, dag on it, I dropped it again. I'm just cutting the selvage edge off. Okay, hold on guys, let me pick this up. I am so sorry guys. Clumsy, clumsy, clumsy today. I think it's just, you know, excited about getting it finished and wanting, you know, to... Okay, so I'm leaving this rough. And you can tell it's cut rough. It is not straight cut or anything. It's hobbly wobbly. I am going to cut the selvage ends off. I didn't cut this end off. Let me check the other one. I'm leaving them like that because over time they're going to rag out, which is what I want. that fell out of my little book. There's stuff hidden in everywhere in this book, isn't there? I really had a blast creating this. So, okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'll start with the back. I'm actually going to fold this over about 2 inches. I'm going to fold this over about 2 inches, sort of create a tube. Then I'm just going to fold this, making sure the front's covered. I'm going to fold this just like when you make a bow tie. Okay? I'm going to wrap that around. So it's going to create a cute little bow, right? And I'm going to make my little loop. Well, when I come up here, I actually found using my score tool helps do this, but you can actually use that, or you can use whatever you want. You can use your fingers even. Okay, I'm going to poke my way through there. So I'm going to just sort of hold that. I'm going to find the other end and push it through where I'm basically going to create a knot. I'm going to create that center knot. Oh, you know what? I did it wrong. I am sorry, guys. Okay. I am going to, you know what? Let's do this a little different. Let's do this different so it's not as unpredictable. Okay, I'm just going to cut it off. Okay. I'm going to grab my Fabri-Tac because Fabri-Tac's awesome. Okay. I'm going to just throw a little bit of Fabri-Tac on there. Not a lot. I just need a little bit to hold. I'm going to fold that over. Again, about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 maybe. Okay. If there's some more glue over here. Throw some glue over there. And again, I'm going to go about 1 3/4 inches over there. If I go over, that's fine. I can go ahead and cut that off. Okay. Then I'm going to take this. And no, I'm not. I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it into my bow shape, but I'm going to put a little Fabri-Tac in here. A little Fabri-Tac in here. I'm going to cover that, so it's not going to matter if it shows. Or if you want to do it the other way around, I'm actually going to use this side of my bow. Actually, I did do it backwards. Oh well, we'll do it that way. Again, this is my book, so it's going to be ragged, so it's not going to matter. Let me glue off my hands. Okay. I'm going to grab this at the top. I'm going to fold it over into a small little area like that. I'm going to maybe about 5 inches or so. Right? I'm going to take my ribbon and wrap it through, and I have the short end. Create my little knot. I'm sliding my knot up to where I need it to be and making it smaller as I go. Okay. And make sure the pretty side of my knot is up. I'm going to hold this down and I'm going to pull the knot tight. Then I'm going to fix my bow, which is easy enough to do. And we'll do that and we'll fix it up again in a little bit. Okay. Then I'm going to knot this one more time just to make sure that it's secure. And pull it as tight as I can. Okay. Around the center. I'm going to cut that off. With just a little edge leaving left. Not a lot. Just enough that by the time we sort our bows out, we can hide it up behind there. Right like that. Okay? I promise you it's worth the fumbling. Okay? Then I'm going to take my ribbon. And I know I want this part to be out, so I'm going to take it, I'm going to fold it up really, really small. I'm going to slide it through the hole. Push it through there, it'll go. Then I'm going to pull it through there. You don't have to be crazy with it. I mean, you can do it pretty easy. Then you want to start guiding your ribbon to make sure it's on the outside. So I sort of twist it around until I get it towards the outside, right? And then keep pulling. Every little knot is going to meet up there. I'm just going to leave that cute little bow on the back. And then we do it again in the front, but we have this part we already cut off, so put a little there. A little bit along there and fold it. Right. Then fold it. Mine's oozing, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue along there, and I'm gonna put my lid back on here as soon as I locate it, because once again I have managed to lose. Oh, it's over here. Okay, so I'm gonna do it like that. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this ribbon. And again, remember, I'm going to create that little knot. So I'm going to set this down before I even do the little, go ahead and create the little knot before I put it on there and tighten it down. Before I put my little bow in there. Okay. I'm going to pick up my little bow, pull it through there again. And remember, you can always straighten that out. If you're gluing it, it sort of holds its own. And then I'm going to tighten it down, sort of moving it along my bow if I need to, moving my bow around, like see how forward it went, but you straighten that all out and you won't even know it's like that. And you can make your bows as big or as small as you want. You can buy pre-made bows if you want to, if you don't want to deal with all this. And then just, you know, honestly, and they're easier to sew the bows. Have your little bow sewed, you know, already closed, and then just sew your little strip to it, then bring it in and just attach it. But I'm trying, I need to turn this around so it's not so, but I'm trying to not sew anything in this one because a lot of people don't have sewing machines. And when you're used to sewing, I mean, when I first started out, I glued them. Even though I knew how to sew, I still glued them at first. Okay. Okay, and we're gonna trim that off, leaving a little bitty edge, because it'll tuck right up behind our bow. You won't even know it once we get everything goobered down. Okay, we're gonna flip to the front. And again, these are so cute. I love the little bows, and we'll flip it all out and primp and proper it once we get all the ephemera in and we turn it back around. Hopefully I'm not going too late time-wise. Okay, and again, you're gonna wad it all up and stick it in there. You just sort of fold it up as small as you can get it, and it eases in there with a little bit of work. It comes right through. Then you just pull. And see, it's a lot, you know, once you get used to it, it's a lot easier to do. That first time is always crazy. Okay. I'm gonna turn this way because we want our bow to be that way, and then we're gonna pull it and then we'll fluff our bow and everything in a minute. Okay, we'll do that in a minute after we get all the ephemera in. So we got our ties done. So that's gonna be our closure. So let's get all our stuff in. Let me move this out of the way. See if I can remember where everything goes. So all of this went into the second one. Excuse me. So let's see. Okay, where did this go in the first one? This went into here, along with this, and this little tag went there. I think we put this here. If not, we are now. And, you know, move some around. I know this one in this little bag. Slide that back in. Okay, I think this. Okay, this little. Put that there. Let's put that in there with that too. We'll just put them in there, and then we have this pocket up here. I know our little birdie went in there. Let's see. There was another. That over there. Let's put this in here. And again, you know, these don't have to all go back in the same spot. And now we had our little washi folder out here. Oh, that wasn't there. This one out here. And our little washi folder went out here. I think there was one other thing that went on here, but it's apparently not going to make it back this time. And we had a... What did we do with our clip? I thought... Didn't we have a paper clip? Hold on, guys. I'm looking through my pile over here. Figuring out where everything went. Okay. There's that. Okay. Here's this. And I think it... No, we had it back here with... That was back here with this. That went there. This... I don't think we had that up there either. No, we had a paper clip in here, guys. Because this was on one. Let's see what I did. Did I do it over here? Oh. Did I put it over here? We have... I know I'm... It's just a little ribbon clip. I know what it looks like. Well, that's what happens when your desk is helter-skelter. Okay, I will find it. I may have dropped it. Okay, we'll come back to this. I know. That... Oh, there it is. Oh, that was on the little envelope. Okay, we'll come back to it. I'm sure we'll find it when I look through my mess of stuff. Okay, let's set that to the side. We'll go to this one. Okay. Okay, I know that we had Oh, you know what? There's our little paper clip right there. Okay, so let's see. Pretty sure this was... I don't know if that's where, if we just had it clipped in there or not, but that's what's going to happen to it now. We'll just clip that there, and we'll clip this on this side, and call it good. There's still some blank pages in there, so I know I've got some more stuff. I may have ended up putting it all over there. We'll see as we situate things. Or I crowded it into all these pockets. Okay. That doesn't go there. Okay, with that we're gonna, this was stuck down in, I don't know. I guess I should look through. Oh no, that goes in there. Let's see. I'm pretty sure the birds were stuck in here. Let's see what else we have. That went in there. And this went down behind it. Oh, maybe not. I think we moved it up here, didn't we? Okay, well, we'll get it in a minute. File folder goes in our pocket. Oh, our big envelope's gone over here too. Okay, maybe I put all this stuff in the same pile. I may have started doing that and then it dawned on me not to do it. Okay. This goes on, no, this goes here. And our big, this goes here. And this had a clip on it, I'm sure. We'll find it, it's here in the chaos. Let's just figure out where everything goes now. Okay. Nope. This went behind here. This one in here. And then this went in here. Nope. Okay, I know this was the front page. I'll have to go back through the video and redistribute if it's in the wrong areas. Okay. A new envelope went in there. This went into the very back. Okay. This was clipped on the page with this was here. This actually went in here with, no, it wasn't with the bird, was it? That means there's another one back. Oh, this actually had a clip on it here. We'll put that there anyway. That's not where it's supposed to be then. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here, even though I don't think that was there originally. We'll just bury this stuff around. I know this goes with the postcard on one of the pages up here. I'm pretty sure that's where that went. Excuse me, my throat is real scratchy. That helps if you turn it the right side up, huh? Okay. Then this was here. I gotta get a... Remember that. This was not here. That was by itself. Oh, we'll put this right here. That'll work. I don't know if that's what was there, but that's what's there now. Okay, and this little thingamajobby went here. I remember that. Okay, so I know we got the first one done. The only thing I think we're missing is a little clip. A paper clip. Well, I'll make another one, I guess. Excuse me. One last ditch effort to look for it. I moved all this stuff around, so Lord only knows where I knocked it into when I was I'm doing that, and I have stuff everywhere. So let me grab a clip real fast, and we'll just make another one. I know it was a small clip, so I'll actually use a red clip. There's a red clip with some lace on it. And we'll just throw a little bit of this on here since I have a little bit left. And again, we're just gonna knot and loop it over. Okay, and we were back here. What did that go on? There's something we needed to clip in. And we found that. Oh, maybe I did find it. Was that it? Oh, no, there was a big green clip. It was just a straight clip that went on this, but we're going to put a red one on here now. Okay. So there we go. So I did get it all back in. So all of it's back in. So there's our binder. I wanted to move this. I think this was one of the things I wanted to move because I wanted to put it where if it was tucked into something, it sort of stuck out to the side instead of, I actually think I'm going to switch it around and put it on this back page because we have the extra space that we build in. So we're not going to have to worry about it being in the way so much, especially if we put it towards the edge there where it flips out. Right? So then we'll come back up here. We pulled that out of here. We'll tug the little praying kids in there, and that sort of goes cute with the little birdie. Sort of fills that pocket up. So I will do a complete flip through when we go through this. We will tie it up. Let me tie it up, and we'll trim these down if we need to. Again, this will push closed and it won't bow too much or anything. I'm trying to figure out where we've got something in here that's all gooby. Something is bigger than what it was before. Somewhere I've got something arranged. Well, it is a chunky. So I'm gonna pull it too, and again tie a big bow. I will rearrange my little bow here, and I, you know, sort of like the little raggedy ones. And I tied a really big bow, and this has this end here, so I'm just gonna trim this off at the same length as this one. But I'm going to untie them first, so that way at least I don't want them to be uneven. So okay, and me being me, I'm just going to angle those just because, you know, everything's better with an angle. And I may rearrange some of the ephemera in here to sort of take away some of that fattiness out of it. Although technically if you tighten the, you know, the tie downs down, it's not too bad. I'm going to pull my bow out and I'm going to flip them out again. Now that I've trimmed it. Flip this one out. And one's always going to be a little bit longer. I mean, obviously, just like anything else. Turn it around, make it really pretty. So see, then I'm going to go in here. I take my score tool because it's easier. Push it all the way through. And then I sort of take my score tool and just sort of pull it and roll it. And that creates that nice flippy. Then my score tool, my bone folder, and just sort of pop it out towards the center. Just to create a little bit cuter bow. But I love the little bow ties, and I think it goes really good with Christmas because, you know, you have all those bows on packages and things. And it's just sort of a different way. So we have our little bow on the top, and this is our front cover. Spine. Again, I've got glue coming off my hands as it dries, so our spine. back cover. And again, okay, we got our bottom, it's nice and neat. And our top with all our fluffies. And then we got our side with our bows, and we've got our little bow here on the back and our bow on the front, and this gorgeous Christmassy bow here. And as much as I hate to say it, it is chunky. This comes out at about 4 inches now that everything's packed in there. And like I said, I may move some of that around, and as you move it around, it's going to change its size. Just, you know, so you're aware of that, depending on where you place your ephemera. And it's not in the same place it was, so it's not like counteracting each other. But it is a chunky monkey. So that is it. I will rearrange the ephemera and all that to try to see, you know, how we can get it sort of calmed down some width-wise. But there you go. Again, this is the 25 days of Christmas. I'm so glad for everybody who's been along. Thank you for being along on the ride with me. I've really appreciated it, you know, the support, the likes, the comments, and all that. So let me know what you think when you see this. I'll be releasing this tonight. So we'll see it tonight. I do have a few little things to do it, and I will work with the other one. So I will get the other one done too. So they'll be, or I'll do this one for the giveaway maybe, or I don't know. I'll see. You know, there's a little spot of glue there that I want to make sure I can get off before. If I can get it off, then I will put up there. I do have these. I can cut these off inside. I probably will not add charms because there is so much. But I will leave them dangling in case you want to tie charms on the inside. That's, you know, it will be up to you. So I will let you go. Have a great day. Thanks for coming along on the ride with us. And we're so glad that you've been here, and we totally appreciate it. So we will see you next time. Have a great day. We will be doing a giveaway for this, so stay tuned for the giveaway video that will be coming out later this weekend. Have a great day. Bye.